they're really focused on having great training partners. And if you look at people, they always talk about what great training camps they have. You look at Greg Jackson's camp, the American Kickboxing Academy, even Faraz Sahabi's got TriStar Gym in Montreal. These guys are surrounding themselves with the best fighters around. Winnipeg Academy of MMA is exactly the same as that. They've got some great fighters in there, including David Swanson, who's done a great job here at Hard Knocks events in the past, and hopefully wants to continue on with a victory here tonight.
1-1 as a mixed martial artist, both of those fights coming here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship. His last fight, a loss to Ben Caffro, felt like he needed to work on some things, ended up going into Thailand and training some MMA over the last couple of months, has 11 years of mixed martial arts experience, and as a 28-year-old stepping into the cage, is fully prepared to face his opponent.
And his opponent. He's fighting out of North Battleford, Saskatchewan. Please welcome Angus Deschambeault.
Angus Deschambeault, no stranger to Hard Knocks fans. In fact, no stranger to us, fighting just 2 weeks ago in Regina, Saskatchewan. And when David Swanson's opponent backed out due to medical issues, Deschambeault said, "I didn't get hurt in my last fight, even though it was a loss. Happy to step in the cage again," and does so tonight with a record of 7-2.
Yeah, taking the fight on 9 days' notice is it's always tough, but when you keep yourself in great shape, like a lot of these fighters do, if you're not damaged, why not fight again? He loves the combat, has a great fighting record at 7-2 as an amateur. And has a good experience advantage over David Swanson. He's looking to basically find his striking ability and be able to post as well over his opponent.
So Angus Deschambeault getting a final look over by the officials, and everything looks good. He's on his way into the cage and comes into the cage again, 7-2, having lost his last decision. His last fight by decision at Hard Knocks 15.
And now for the formal fighter introductions. In the Power Dodge blue corner, he's 1-1 as an amateur and is 28 years old. He stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighed in at 155 pounds, fighting out of Winnipeg Academy of MMA. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, David Swanson. And in the Boston Pizza red corner, he's 7-2 as an amateur. He's 19 years old, stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 153½ pounds, fighting out of Savage Combat MMA in North Battleford. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Angus Achilles Deschambeault. This bout will be contested under amateur rules. The referee in charge of the action is Mr. Elvis Lyons.
Gentlemen, fighters, just enter the cage. You know the rules. Give a good, hard, clean fight. Give it everything you got. If you're going to touch gloves, touch them now. Back to your corners.
So Angus Deschambeault in the red corner with the white trunks, blue corner, red trunks for David Redbeard Swanson, as these two fighters all set to go in our 6th fight of the evening. A quick takedown attempt there thrown by Deschambeault, and maybe learned a lesson watching the striking clinics from the WAMA fighters earlier tonight.
Yeah, Deschambeault coming immediately in, wasn't set up very nicely, but a great continuation on that double leg. The continuity was there. You know, you look at Deschambeault, been training jiu-jitsu from the age of 14, so, you know, good amount of years for him training that. And he's looking to use that advantage in the jiu-jitsu on the ground.
You can see Swanson trying to potentially throw up a triangle as he's trying to get that wrist behind his leg and control Deschambeault from that position as he continues to work from the ground. Deschambeault at the moment not doing much on top, but is still working effectively to try and advance his position, which of course always scores well on a judge's scorecard.
Yeah, if you actually look here, David Swanson attempting a sweep there, but every time he sits up, he's making Deschambeault think, because sitting up like that is actually a great way to get in that Kimura, and Swanson doing that. Now he's crawling up to the high guard, and you see that only one arm in by Deschambeault right now, which is a very dangerous thing because that leaves you open for a triangle. It's very well said when you're in the top position in an opponent's guard, 2 hands in or 2 hands out, and Deschambeault right now with 1 arm out and in a danger position, and right into the Kimura there is Swanson, and it's deep.
That will not last well, and good on Deschambeault to roll out of that as Swanson was in a position, but now used that Kimura to work himself into the mount, starting to land strikes to Deschambeault's head as Deschambeault tries to hold on now, and Swanson tries to provide some offense with him in a dominant position.
Yeah, he needs to posture up by pushing down Deschambeault. The problem with doing that in the position that they're in right now is Swanson's really high up, and so Deschambeault can thrust his hips and send Swanson flying, but he looks good right now. He's positioning back. Now taking his back and looking for that choke.
Swanson earlier throwing elbows. Now there are no knees or elbows to the head of an opponent, so wise move by Swanson, dropping those elbows into the shoulder, which is illegal, just not to the head, and it again allowed him to advance position, and he now has the back of Deschambeault.
Yeah, Deschambeault grabbing onto the hand of Swanson there, and that's the danger that it puts into it. It prevents the one side, but it leaves you open on the other side. Now chin is in, so it's not going to be choking out Deschambeault, but it is going to be doing some damage. Again, chin's still in here, so no danger to be tapped out, but a lot of pressure on that chin, which makes a big difference. And back on top, huge strikes now.
Just 10 seconds left in the first round. Deschambeault landing the best strikes of the round as the round comes to a close. Deschambeault landing some strikes at the end of the round, potentially getting a draw or a lead on a judge's scorecard. Both fighters in a dominant position for a fair amount of the round. Both fighters landing some decent strikes. It'll be interesting to see what the judges score that first round.
Yeah, it doesn't pay to be a judge at this point, because that had both fighters had aspects of dominance in that round. Great take it down right at the beginning by Angus Deschambeault. Great display of jiu-jitsu by David Swanson, using the Kimura to sweep, landing some blows. But again, Angus showing that he's here to fight. 7-2 as a record. There's a reason for it.
Now again, we see one fighter sitting, one fighter standing. Again, you mentioned that's somewhat coach preference. 3 of our 5 fights to this point have been WAMA fighters. This is our 6th fight and our 3rd WAMA fighter. We know they don't sit down, but again, the psychology of that playing into effect is all the blue corner fighters choosing to stand up and wait for the round 2. Both fighters start with a kick to the midsection. Deschambeault again driving, getting in close, trying to take Swanson down. It worked well for him in round 1.
Yeah, Deschambeault is in on a single leg attack here, but he's got his head to the outside, which is the reason that he's having difficulty finishing it, and countering well was David Swanson, Redbeard. He's got to get his head to the outside, which puts pressure on that chest, and then pull on that leg. That's what's going to be able to take him down on that single. Cranking
the single guillotine now is Swanson, and that looks like it's in deep, adding a knee to add insult to injury. Cranking on the neck of Deschambeault, and there's a tap. This fight is over as David Swanson secures a guillotine choke, and Angus Deschambeault now falls to 7-3, a standing guillotine finish for David Redbeard Swanson.
And where that guillotine comes from, you watch David Swanson, he had the standard guillotine, and then he switched his hands over and changed the position there, which puts an added pressure on the carotid artery on both sides.
While we wait for the official decision, a special thank you goes to XL Fitness, formerly Yak's Gym and Tanning Salon, the official gym for School of Hard Knocks Fighting 16. A big thanks goes out to Yaks for supplying our fighters with a terrific gym to cut weight and prepare prior to the event. Also hosting a great meet and greet where all our fans and media were welcome yesterday to go out and meet our Hard Knocks 16 fighters.
Now, just a continuation on that, Cody McKenzie was a person on The Ultimate Fighter, and he specializes in that.
We
So
have
great,
the official
student from Dave
decision.
Swanson.
Brought to you by House of Stationery. The winner by tap out via side choke at 41 seconds in the second round. In the blue corner, David Swanson. David, you spent your winter training in Thailand. How did that affect your performance here tonight?
I didn't really get to throw much standing, so I don't know, kept me in shape, I guess.
Now, you had an opponent change in less than a week. Did you alter your game plan at all tonight to come into this?
No, the other guy I was supposed to fight had quite a few fights, so I was expecting someone with experience. I wasn't going to be intimidated by the crowd or the lights, so same fight.
And other than our sponsors, who do we have to thank tonight?
WAMA Canada, I switched gyms last year, and my coaches Curtis Brigham, Lindsay Hawks, and all the folks back home, WAMA.ca.
Let's hear it again for your winner, David Swanson!
David Swanson makes the WAMA Gym a perfect 3-0 on the evening. All 3 stoppages happening in or around the second round, as all 3 fighters are victorious. And taking a look throughout the course of the evening, looks to be a pretty good time for the blue corner.